Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to another video. Today's video, we're going to be giving you a wand dagger guide. This video has been highly requested. We're going to go in depth with the skills I'm using, the gear I'm using, the rotation I'm using, the traits we're using for it as well. And at the end, I'm going to show you a little bit of gameplay and how we utilize a lot of our rotations. All right, guys, watch the video. All right. So, first thing that we want to talk about is Wand Dagger. What is the purpose of Wand Dagger? Wand Dagger is going to be your main sleep bomb. You are going to prioritize the Curse Nightmare spell. This is going to be the massive utilization, like the utility that you're going to be using in every single fight. Doesn't matter if it's single 1v1s, large Zerg fights. You are a bomber. You focus on sleeps. Okay. This is the main premise. We're going to be with the Wand Dagger. We're going to be jumping backlines, being the bomb groups, disrupting pushes. We're not going to be really running with the large Zerg. So a lot of the clips you'll see at the end of the video, or me kind of just branching off myself, or with a small party. This is how Wand Dagger should be utilized. Or better yet, not saying should be utilized. This is how I utilize Wand Dagger and most of other people. Don't want to say that this is the absolute perfect way to run it because by far it is not, but this is the way I run it and everybody loves the way that I run it on the stream. Let's take a look at our skills. The skills we are running for the Wand Dagger PvP build is our Dagger block. The Dagger block because it gives us the mana regen and the extra evasion. All right. This is going to be massive because we're running an evasion build currently. This could change with Talandri, so don't stay focused on this one too much at the moment. But it is priority that we run Block Blade over the Chaotic Shield. Now, with the abilities, we are running Touch of Despair, Curse Nightmare, Karmic Haze, Decaying Touch, Curse Explosion, Shadow Strike, Inject Venom, Cleaving Moonlight, Frenzied Sword Dance, Fatal Stigma, Swift Healing, and Camouflage Cloak. Now let's go over here and take a look at our passives. The passives I'm currently running are Murderous Energy for the increased poison duration and poison damage over time. Full of Corruption for the increased max damage and mana regen when we kill somebody. Wraith's Beacon for the increased curse duration. Vampiric Contract for the restoration with curse damage. Shadow Walker for the increased mobility and magic evasion that we stack with the block blade, right? These two go together. Destructive Thing to reduce the target's defense, just a little bit more, uh, to be able to put out a little bit more pressure. Then we're going into our brain, assassin instincts for our crit chance, and wrathful edge for the crit damage. Let's take a look at the skill specializations. Okay, we're going to start with Dagger. Skill specializations, we're running Cleaving Moonlight, so we're going to get the extra use, the consecutive use out of it. We're running Shadow Strike. We're going to increase the range with Shadow Strike. Inject Venom is going to reduce mana reduction. Camouflage Cloak, we're going to run the CC immunity on Camouflage Cloak. Fatal Stigma, we're running increased range and damage increase. And then Frenzied Sword Dance, we're running Thundercloud and AoE damage. Now with the wand, we're going to run all 3 with Touch of Despair. Curse Explosion is going to be the damage increase. Swift Healing, the extra use for, for consecutive use. Decaying Touch, we're going to run Decaying Touch, which is the single target version of this, and additional damage. Cursed Nightmare, we are running Deep Sleep and Enhanced Nightmare. Karmic Haze, we are running range increase for the higher AoE. And that's going to be it for the skill specialization. This setup does leave 1 extra. There are some slight variations, but this is how I run my PvP skills and skill specialization. Now let's take a look at the gear. We take a look at the gear. The gear that I use for Wand Dagger is the tried and true of the build. If you watch any of my streams, which you should, it is Tevint's Grasp. We have Tevint Wand. We have Licarius Daggers, all with heavy attack, crit, and hit chance. In our helmet, we have Shadow Harvester Mask. We have a chest piece of Heroic Tunic. We have Phantom Wolf Breeches. We have the Ancient Tapestry Mantle. We have Phantom Wolf Gloves. We have Shadow Harvester Boots. Now this setup is 2 set Shadow Harvester, 2 set Phantom Wolf for the crit damage and bonus damage. Then we have our Icy Necklace of Strength for the extra hit, the Bracers of Primal King for the damage. We have Amber Dimensional Band. We have Band of Universal Power. And we have Belt of Bloodlust. For the stats that I'm currently running, we have 50 Strength, 41 Dexterity, 32 Wisdom, and 60 Perception. Now, the 1 extra Dexterity we're running, you could put it in Wisdom to get the extra mana regen. I personally like it in Dexterity for the little bit of a evasion boost. Now let's look at our runes that we're running. The runes we're running are going to be the synergy. We're going to run the Strength 3, critical damage reduction 6%. Strength 3, critical damage reduction 6%. Damage reduction 6 and max health for the belt. For the necklace, we're running Dexterity max health. For the bracers, we're running attack speed max health. For one of the rings, we're running Perception max health, and the other ring, we're running Perception max health. Now, what we're looking for on your runes are going to be crit hit chance, heavy attack for the attack one, weaken chance, or skill damage reduction for the support, and then ranged evasion, magic evasion, or potential max health for the defense. This brings us to our traits. Our traits that we're looking for on all of our gear is going to be any variation of ranged evasion, magic evasion. This should be on all of your pieces of armor. Then whatever max health trait or mana regen trait you have for the armor as well. For your rings and your cloak and your belt should be your normal traits, which are buff duration for the rings, skill damage boost, and mana regen or max health. The belt should be max health, skill damage resistance, debuff. The necklace, skill damage boost, max health, buff. And then skill damage resistance, max health, debuff for the bracelet. If we look at our stats, unbuffed, this is unfood buffed. We're sitting at 1400, 8000 health, 6900 mana, 4% mana cost efficiency. We have 1200 health regen, 800 mana regen, 20%, 21.4% cooldown speed, 25% attack speed. With the hit chance, we're sitting at 982 and 962 for our hit chances, unbuffed, which is going to get us over that 1000 threshold buff. When we pop food buff, it'll get us over that 1000 threshold that we're looking for. You have melee crit, range hit, range crit, magic crit, all about 1100. Heavy attack, all about 290. Bonus damage at 46. Skill damage boost at 170. Crit damage at 40%. Buff duration at 45%. Now our defenses, this is massive here. We are not melee defense built. It's 187 melee defense. Ranged and evasion are 1333 and 1335. This is where our bread and butter comes in. Any of the weak classes with us sneaking around, going behind, we're able to evade a lot of their spells. Okay. Now if we get down, you have some minor skill damage resistance. Where's it at? Right here. Skill damage resistance 225, damage reduction 31. You want these as high as possible. Crit hit damage 12%, and debuff duration minus 18%. I do like running crit hit damage reduction and damage reduction because we don't have melee defense. Our weakness currently in the meta on East Coast US servers are greatsword and spear users. Realistically, anything with melee, if they can get us stunned, we can't heal through it, they will kill us. These two right here, as high as possible, will reduce the amount that we can be one shot with the massive crits. So that's something to keep in mind. Other than that, guys, that's a full detailed breakdown of the armor, of the skills, of the stat points, of the runes. Let's take a look at the rotation and how I currently have my bar set up. I have two bombs here. The first bomb we're looking at is our curse bomb. The curse bomb is going to start with Touch of Despair into a Decaying Touch. This is going to get all two of our curses, and we're hoping for the 7th proc. What you're looking for is the 3 stack of Touch of Despair. Once you have the 3 stack of Touch of Despair and your Decaying Touch on the target, you are then able to, in the single target situation, explode it, or AoE pop Karmic Haze to spread the curse into an explosion. Okay, that is our first explosion. Now, popping Curse Nightmare before Karmic Haze will sleep everything as well, hence why we are called a sleep bomber. Okay, now how I run my build is this fun little explosion that we have right here as well, which is our Fatal Stigma explosion. Fatal Stigma does an explosion and increases for each of your poison stacks and your thundercloud stacks. With me popping Inject Venom, I now am putting poison every time I auto attack on a target or attack the target. But whenever I use my Frenzied Sword Dance and my Shadow Strike, or no, it is just Frenzied Sword Dance with this build. When I use my Frenzied Sword Dance, it pops Thundercloud stacks on the target as well. So let's take a look at this explosion. If we look at this target, it's got 20 stacks of poison, 5 stacks of Thundercloud. With the explosion, it does 9,500. Okay, now if these fights are going on, dragging on longer, of course we'll have more poisons and more Thundercloud stacks spread out. But we have the Thundercloud explosion and the Curse explosion. You also have on your bar, you have your dash, the shadow strike, which can stop heals. It can stun the target, or you can utilize it as a dash away by doing dashing to a mob or something. You also have your swift healing for self heals, stealth for defensive getaways, or if you're real aggressive, stealth, stealth to um, attack, right? Get past the enemy front line, get into the back line. A lot of times I can maneuver around the enemy front line, so I'm not using stealth to engage. Let's see a full rotation here, guys. Look at the numbers and enjoy it. And then I'll show you some gameplay, and we'll get to the end of the video. One final tidbit. I did not mention my Guardian, guys. The Guardian that I do like using is the DPS Guardian because it does launch AoE projectiles. While I have poison on, it does poison all the AoE targets it hits. So this is a good way to stack your poison stacks, spread out over multiple targets for an explosion. All right. Here is the burst. All right. We popped our Fatal Stigma Explosion once or twice, and we popped our Curse Explosion once in this setup. We're going to get one more Curse Explosion here to show you the damage. And one more Fatal Stigma as well. Might as well. All right. Now, throughout that whole entire burst, we saw a lot of damage numbers like we still see on this, where it's 500, 200, 300, but every single second. This is a lot of dot damage. Our explosions are doing damage anywhere from 5,000 to about 25,000 if we're getting some crit damage on top of it, or heavy attacks as well. Let's get into some gameplay and we'll go from there. Oh, so clean. Oh, all right, guys. I hope you enjoyed that gameplay. I hope you enjoyed the guide. If there's any other questions or you want to know anything else, or my mindset on how I'm playing this, just to get a little bit better for yourself, you can check me out at twitch.tv/Teddemore1, or on here on YouTube, I'm streaming, or on TikTok as well at Teddemore1. All three of those platforms I stream every single night at 8 p.m. Eastern. So go check it out. And I hope you enjoy, guys. Peace.